Personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes. So happy to be with you this afternoon. Sharpe Way Radio. Larry Sharpe, WYSL, Rochester, New York. The number to call if you want to chat with me after the first break, 585-346-3000. Boy, there are some things happening in New York City that reminded me of why I get angry sometimes so much. And one of the things is, I remember I was on a subway probably 4 months ago, with my 14-year-old daughter. And the stereotypical thing you hear in the news actually happens, because it usually does happen in New York City. It's not just stereotype, it's actually based upon something real. Someone who looks like they're having some type of mental episode, don't know if that's true, but it looked that way from an outsider, comes onto the train, starts yelling and screaming, swinging in the air, all these types of things. He's in one side of the car. People get up and leave that side of the car and go to the other side. I'm in the middle of the car with my daughter. He's screaming and yelling, calling people names, saying things, horrible, nasty things that I cannot say on the radio. And you can imagine. Racial things, racist things, misogynistic things. Yes. Everything you can imagine. He's doing all those things and swinging physically in the air, threatening people, the entire thing. I'm just sitting there in the middle of the car. My daughter's scared. I won't move. I refuse to move. Larry, you're an idiot. Maybe, but I refuse to move. He starts walking around. He comes towards us. I have my fist right in my hand, right there, holding it, looking at it, both of them clenched. I look him in the eye. He walks away. You might go, Larry, you had your daughter with you. It's true. And I also had my keys in my hand, because when he was swinging around, I told my daughter, I said, Daddy might be going to jail tonight. I'm not joking. You can ask her. I told her that. I said, here are the keys so you can get back to the house. Something goes on. I'll be in jail. Odds are I'll be out tomorrow, but I may be going to jail tonight. So you'll be fine. She was, of course, scared, but I didn't care. I wasn't going to move. And that may be dumb, but I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And I knew that day that I might go to jail. I did not care, because I was tired of it. I was going to defend my 14-year-old daughter, and she would see her father defend her. If that meant I went to jail that night, I went to jail that night. My daughter was going to see her father defend her in a city that is completely broken, and that everybody else ran like a bunch of chickens. An embarrassment that New York City is. That would have never happened when I was younger. 70s, 80s, that guy would have been beaten into the ground. Not by me, but yeah, if I was there, by me, but by other people. They would have literally beaten him into the ground. That stuff, I was good, stuff, hardly happened back then. Was it because people were better or something? No, it's because the system actually cared about defending yourself. That mattered. It doesn't anymore. How do I know that? Because two things happened that reminded me of that time. Number one, Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny right now just found out there's going to be some evidence that's going to be put into his case. For those of you who remember, Daniel Penny last year choked a guy on the train. Exact same scenario as mine. Same scenario. But he choked the guy. And he needed two other people to hold him down. And the guy died. And now he's going to jail. Penny's going to jail. He's going to lose this. His life is over. A Marine, just like me, thinks the same, just like I do, and said, I'm not backing down. And he was trying to help somebody else. This guy was doing the same thing, swinging, yelling, the whole thing. And what's happening? He's going to go to jail and probably prison. His life's over because he's fighting. He's not actually pleading. I might plea because I know I'm going to jail. Penny should have been pardoned immediately. But Larry killed a guy. So what? And you might go, Larry, I know. But at one point, you don't know if these people are going to actually hurt somebody. People on the subway kill others. That's a thing that actually happens. That's not me making it up. That's not stories. People get killed on the subway. That happens. And you don't know. So now some guy is threatening, yelling. And in my case, that guy was literally threatening. In the case of Daniel Penny, that guy was literally threatening, saying he was going to kill somebody today. He said that. No one denies that. And now he's going to jail. Terrible. But here's the worst part. The evidence that they're going to let in, you would think would be good for him. But this is New York City. Oh, it's not. The evidence is him saying, literally, 2 cops, and they are putting it out there. I thought he was going to kill someone, so I tried to stop him. And every time I held him down, he kept moving. He wouldn't just stop moving. So 2 other guys jumped on top because he wouldn't stop moving. Now, he said that. The cops agreed with that. The video shows that. 2 other guys jumped on him too. They're not charged. Only he is. Why aren't they accessories to murder? Or manslaughter, whatever is the charge. I forgot what charge they're throwing at him. Whatever they're throwing at him. They're not, just him. You need 2 other guys to hold him down. Again, evidence. Why is he not pardoned? And worse, why did they not want this in? And why does the prosecution want this in? Because a Manhattan jury will see him as a bad guy for that. I know some of your heads just exploded. Yes, a Manhattan jury will be like, oh, how dare him want to save people? That's the job of the state. That's the job of the police. That's not your job to save people. Marine, who cares about his people, who wants to stop someone from dying. Clearly, he didn't care about his own life. He jumped the guy. He cared about other people there. And they went, oh, you can't do that. No. They're going to convict him on that. That's a Manhattan jury. You might say to yourself, oh my God, the system's bad. No, and the people too. And the people too. Why do you think I spend my time telling people, go on juries? Go on juries. Oh my God. Go on juries so you can stop this. I've been on 2 juries. I wish I could be on more. Sadly, I'm too popular here. But yes, I would go on more. So you can't defend yourself. Remember the bodega guy? A couple years back? Guy comes at him, bigger than him, stronger than him, younger than him, threatens him, and physically is punching the guy. The guy pulls a knife out that he used to open up boxes, not one to fight people, stabs the guy. He goes to jail. Jose, I forgot his last name. Alba, maybe? I forgot. Anyway, that guy. He actually went to jail. I mean, he at least got out. At least he got out. So, yeah. But why do you even go? Cops have to arrest him. Of course they do. But now let me go to the next piece. The other night, former governor, David Patterson, and Curtis Sliwa's son, Anthony, for those of you know who Curtis Sliwa, founder of the Garden Angels, meant to stop exactly this. The Garden Angels would beat people down. Curtis Sliwa's been shot more than once trying to help people. Yes, more than once. And he doesn't stop. Figure you get shot once, you want to stop. Nope. He's not done. Still wearing the red jacket, trying to stop people. So his son, his oldest son, is walking with Governor Patterson. They were walking a dog. They see 4 people climbing, this is in the city, so they're climbing up fire escapes. Why are you climbing up a fire escape? Because you're about to rob the joint. That's the reason why you're doing that. They see it. He says, stop, don't do it. They get mad, get down, have a back and forth, and then they leave. Well, they're back out walking the dog, and those 4 guys jumped him. Okay, he's one guy, Curtis Sliwa's son, Anthony Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, David Paterson, I'm not joking, he's a legally blind senior citizen. They thought that was a fair fight. 4 against 1 dude and a 70-year-old blind man. And they jumped him. That's happening in New York City. That piece is driving me crazy. You might say, well, Larry, what would be the answer? Well, if someone had a firearm, that might have happened. I'm just saying that, okay. But in either case, is Patterson or Sliwa's son going to get charged? If they weren't those people, they would. And that's my other problem. If it wasn't Patterson, and if it wasn't Sliwa's son, they'd probably be arrested for fighting back because they fought back. They did. They got jumped. They fought back. Patterson threw a guy to the ground. Yes, a blind 70-year-old man threw one of them to the ground. True story. And Sliwa got knocked down. There's like 3 dudes on him. He got back up. And I will say this to Curtis, my friend, Curtis Sliwa. We had our issues in the past with the Reform Party, but well done on raising that young man. Well done on raising that young man to defend that 70-year-old man against 4 thugs. Well done. You have done your job as a father. Thoroughly impressive. Well done, my friend. If you happen to be listening, I hope you are. If anyone else knows him who's not listening, tell him well done. Clearly, he should be proud. And I know he is. And he should be. 100%. But imagine that. If it was just some 20-year-old, not Sliwa's son, and some 70-year-old, they might have been arrested in my city and gone to jail. Something's wrong, people. Something is wrong. What do you think? 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and your chat. I see you after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Dion, you see this most likable spokesperson poll?
Really? I might know somebody. Oh, we're looking forward to this today, aren't we?
Seriously, guys? We're a team. We're not competing against each other.
Ooh, who's a good spokesperson?
2 puppies?
I did not expect that from you.
Ooh, one of them's for you. Oh, ooh, who's a good spokesperson? Yes, go to West Her. Oh.
Welcome to West Her, New York.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no-obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe back here. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York, 585-346-3000. So happy that you're with me this afternoon. I've been talking about the problems that we have in New York State, but mostly here in New York City. You see it across New York State, but heavily in this city with people who decide there's no way that you can defend yourself. Because here's the second piece that happened. In my first story I told you with me and my daughter, the next stop came. Everybody got out of that car. My daughter yanked me. We went out too. Now, we didn't get off at that stop. We just shifted cars. So what happened? That guy just took over the entire car. What was his lesson? I can go take over an entire car whenever I want to. And he did. So we all squished into other cars, right? Because that's what they want to do. So they did. And I get it. But then here comes the worst part. People wonder what happens when someone is beating somebody up or hurting somebody. Who is going to step in? And the answer is going to be nobody. That's going to be the answer. Nobody. Because would I go to jail for my daughter? 100%. Any day of the week. Wouldn't think twice. Yes. But am I going to go to jail for some random person who, to be forward, may not even think that I should? They may not even think that I should. Would I go to jail for someone who would say, why did you step in? Why did you beat that guy up? You're a bad person, Larry. Would I go to jail for them? Would you? I think most wouldn't. I think most would not. So if it's not yours, oh, well, I guess you're getting robbed. Oh, well, I guess you're getting beaten up. Is that how we build community? No. And it's been my problem for years. As you add government, you by default remove community. That's how it works. Community will always be better than government. Now, people need help. Of course, people fall down, people make mistakes, people get unlucky, people make bad decisions, and everything in between. But community should be helping and not government. As government helps, this is what you get. The more you put government involved, the more you get this. The more you allow community to support itself. You can support a community. That makes a lot of sense. But doing this is what happens. Now we rely upon our police force for everything. We call the cops for everything. And then we wonder why the cops can't do the job right. How can they? They're just people. How do they do the job right? They got to do 85,000 things for 85,000 ways. How are they going to do it? They can't. Of course not. So they're in a bad spot. We're in a bad spot. Lose, lose, lose. Nobody's happy. And what happens from that? You get defund the police. You get that. Okay, what's your answer? I don't know. I'm just mad. I get it. I'm mad too. But let's have an actual answer here. How about that? That'd be way better. Anyway, I'm talking trash. Let me grab a couple comments from the internet. I appreciate it. Let me do some of these. All right. Rocket Matrix says, a guy from the Bronx beat down an attempted guy who would assault a woman. I don't want to say the word, get in trouble. That guy, a man who would assault a woman who tried to attack his wife. DA charged the husband. Yes, I don't know that story specifically, but that's right in line. And my exact point. This has to change. Mike Voss in the house. He says Penny should never be convicted on this case. Yes, but he will. You're right, but he will. Yes, he will. I can't see a way out. The guy's name was Jordan Neely. Thank you, Rocket Man. Jordan Neely was the guy who he killed. Absolutely. I remember he was a subway performer. And because of that, they played that saying, see, he's just a good guy who was having a bad episode. And to be forward, that may be true. Maybe Jordan Neely should not have been killed that day. Maybe he shouldn't have been. I don't know the details of him. Maybe he shouldn't. And I'm sure his family is sad. Let's be clear. The system failed him. Jordan Neely is dead not because of Daniel Penny. Jordan Neely is dead because the system failed him. Either his family couldn't support him, or the system couldn't support him, or the system allowed him to do what he's doing. Our system, and I mean that the entire system, to include family, friends, community, failed him. He clearly needed help. He didn't get it. What did he get? He got into a spot where he thought the right answer was to go into the subway and threaten people. Whether that was through drugs, mental issues, mental breakdown, depression, whatever it was. That's what happened. And Jordan Neely should not be dead, true, but the fault is not Daniel's. And people get mad at me. I don't care. Be mad at me. It's not. I live in this city. I've been in this city for decades. I know what it's like. This is not Daniel's fault. I said it then. If those of you remember, I did a show on this, on how tired people are, on how angry people are, and how I get it. You just want to stop it. And then if you need two other guys to hold them down, we keep yelling, where are all the traditional men? They're going to jail. That's where they are. There we go. 100%. So Michael goes on to say, because other citizens were Black and Hispanic per video does not match the media narrative. You think this is a racial thing? Is it racial because of the victim or because of the attackers? The attackers, I think you're saying here, not because of the victim. Because the victim in each case, okay, Penny was Black. I'm sorry, the victim in the case of Penny was Black. The victim in the case of Jose was Black. Maybe. The victims, well, I don't know. The victims in the case of the Sleewa case, Sleewa was white. Patterson's Black. Maybe. I'm not against it. Maybe. Gene says, jury nullification. Yes, yes, and yes. It's why I say get on juries. And for those who don't know this, judges in New York State will tell you that jury nullification is basically against the law. They will tell you, you do not have any right. And they will do this when they're actually giving jury instruction. They will say this. They will say, I know I've been in a jury. They will say this. You are not allowed to judge whether the law is just or not. It doesn't matter. If they have broken the law, you must vote jury. You must vote guilty. That is a lie. You do not have to. Not required. That is a lie. And every judge in New York State will tell you that lie. Every single judge in New York State is lying to you when they say that. That's not true. You decide guilt or innocence if you are a jury. That's it. You decide. If you think that law is BS, you can go, not guilty, not a crime. Sorry, not going to jail. Not a crime. So if you're on a jury and a judge says that, they're wrong. They're lying to you. In fact, when they're trying to pick people out of a jury, they'll ask you questions like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And if you go, oh, that's not a crime, they throw you off because they know you might vote no. Yes. Jury nullification is real. Jury nullification is legal. And I assume they do this in other states, but I've never been in a jury in other states. And I've never been a consultant in other states. I know in New York State, judges will tell you literally that's how that works. And they are lying. That is absolutely not true. Juries have the ability to say not guilty if it's not a crime, period. Anyway, maybe I'm the crazy one. I'm okay being the crazy one because I'm still right. I can be crazy and right. I can be both of them. And you can tell me if you want to. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. Back with your calls and more of your chat. I see you. I will get to you after the break.
most free talk radio.
WYSL.
27,000 watt AM 1040, FM 92.1, FM 95.5.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Showers will clear for a partly cloudy sky. A little chill in the air. There'll be some light frost south of 5 and 20 in the 30s and 40s on Wednesday. Partly to mostly cloudy, breezy and cool once again. A couple of showers in the 50s. On Thursday, morning clouds will slowly clear. A little sun in the afternoon in the 50s. Milder back into the 60s Friday. I'm Rich Caniglia, WYSL.
Temperatures might be falling, but the deals are hot as ever at Victor Chevrolet, the new leader for Chevy in Rochester, Canandaigua, and Fairport. Check out these great lease specials. Go anywhere on the road or off in your new 2024 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab. Just $349 a month for 27 months. And the 2024 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive, only $229 a month for 27 months. Or how about a 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive, only $199 a month for 27 months. These specials require Tier 1 credit approval and current lease and household. Mileage allowance 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents each additional mile, $2,500 cash or trade equity plus first payment and DMV fees required at closing. Get more details at dealer. And don't forget, Victor Chevrolet also has an unbeatable pre-owned selection. Whatever brand of vehicle you're driving, you can trust it to our Chevy certified service department. Come see how easy it is to do business with us. Victor Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Route 96 in Victor. Visit victorchevrolet.com.
Debunking advertising from the law office of Christopher Johnson. Get a load of some of those injury attorney TV ads. There they are, rescuing cats out of trees, helping seniors with walkers cross the street.
Okay, Larry, I have two calls. First up will be Craig, and then after that, Keith.
Camera. Are these guys running law firms or selling Klondike bars? Fun is fun, but when you've been seriously injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle crash, or on unsafe premises, funny stuff isn't your focus. Getting better and getting your life back on track is. That's where the one-on-one personal focus of Christopher Johnson comes in. When he represents you, you get 100% of his attention to help you get every dollar you're entitled to under the law. It's a client-focused commitment, not cuteness. This straight talk comes to you from Christopher Johnson, attorney, car, truck, motorcycle accidents, personal injury, and DWI defense. Call 585-415-3803. That's 585-415-3803.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Today's heat pump systems are a better, more convenient way to keep your home comfortable all year round. They'll keep you cool on the hottest summer days and keep you warm on the coldest winter nights. Plus, these all-weather ductless or ducted systems are up to 40% more efficient than conventional heating and cooling systems. Upgrade to an energy-efficient heat pump system and take advantage of clean heat rebates. Find out more at airquipheating.com.
Airquip Heating and Air.
This is Matt Fritz from Fritz's Patriot Place. Come one, come all to the Twin Tiers Trump Train, Saturday, October 12th. Starting at the Old Ames Plaza, 100 Victory Highway and Painted Post. We'll have yard signs, flags, apparel, and much, much more. 8 a.m. until the Trump train departs at 10 a.m. Merchandise sales will continue at the finish of the drive. At Scenic View Campground in Tioga, PA. Call or text 585-880-7130.
Hey, Mr. Gun Collector, how do you like buying a new rifle now? This is what happens when you don't show up and you don't vote. Elections have consequences. Vote your gun rights and save the Second Amendment. Remember, not voting is a vote for no guns. This message brought to you by MonroeCountyScope.com.
I'm Carmen Leonardo, licensed associate real estate broker with RE/MAX Realty Group. Rely on my exceptional skills to get the best deal for your real estate transaction. Thinking about buying or selling? Call or text Carmen Leonardo, 585-233-4119.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL, Rochester, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number. I have a bunch of calls, but first I do want to grab one comment. Peace Logic says, this is horrible. So we need training on how to subdue people without ending a life. How do we get this training? Yes. So you have to somehow subdue them without hurting them by defending yourself, but you're not a cop, so you don't have the training. So how do you do that? But you can't get a gun. I don't know. Your point is a valid one. Virtually impossible and not the right answer. I agree completely. That's terrible, right? We have to be in a spot where, to be forward, I get if someone does not want to fight and wants to walk away. You should. You should never have to fight ever. The problem is sometimes you might have to. And you've got to have an answer. Walking away, I think, is always the best chance if you can. I think you should try. But not always. I mean, there's times when you're stuck in a train and the train's moving and you can't really go many places except you're stuck in that car. What are you going to do? Or they want to attack someone you love, like that guy's wife or my daughter. What are you going to do? Not so easy. Any case, let me grab a couple calls if I could. First, if I could grab Craig. Craig, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm okay. What's going on?
Oh, well, just calling, and one of my, I guess it's the pet peeve. You're talking about the government taking action and on your behalf, and then not allowing you to do it. And if they can't do it, you can't do it, and you just have to suffer. So
I remember, you saying that. There was a guy he was from Greece, and he was talking to me in my front porch, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. And he's like, Larry, I don't kind of understand your idea of like being a libertarian when it comes to things like law. I'm not really sure I get it. I said, okay, let me give you an example. If you looked across the street here and you saw a guy in a window and he was smoking some weed in that window, you saw him. Would it be okay for me, and I mean ethically, not legally, ethically, to go into that guy's house, kick his door in, grab him, take that out of his mouth, and throw him into a cage? And if he won't go, if he resists, to beat him up and maybe even kill him? He said, no, of course not. Why can cops do it? He was like, yeah, if it's not right for me, it's not right for cops. Now, if I saw a guy in there trying to maybe physically have his way with someone, should I ethically kick in the door, stop him from doing so, and save her? He was like, yeah. Like, yeah, cops can do it, right? Yeah. Why can't I? He's like, oh, that's the point. It's right for me or right for cops or both or neither. Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% correct. And the problem is people always defer to whatever the system says. That's the important part is, it's the system, or, it's what the system said. So that's what we got to do. And they remove themselves from it. There's no personal responsibility or accountability or thought process. This is the thing. This is what we do. So it's just what you want me to do. I'm only one person. If we were to move back to, everyone is responsible for, and we allow people to do it. That's the other side of the coin, is you have to allow people to do stuff and make mistakes and do whatever. And then it's after the fact. All of this stuff comes because we think we can prevent some evil thing by doing all of it, but you can't. It's an illusion that by adding all of these layers of whatever, it makes us safer. It doesn't. All you've done is give it to someone else, and now it's their responsibility, and they're probably not going to do it. And if they don't, what do they have? Nothing. Nothing happens. It's the same with the storm right now going through the South. FEMA says, we got to have FEMA. We're going to save everybody. And then the storm comes and they say, don't, just wait for us. We'll come and we'll help. We promise. And they don't, and they don't, and they don't, and everybody dies. And it's like, well,
Yes.
we need another couple billion. What are you going to do?
Let's put some more money into that government. That'll do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Craig, I appreciate the call, my friend. Thank you. I'm going to grab one more if I could. This is Kevin. How are you? I'm sorry, not Kevin. Keith, how are you?
Keith,
are you there, Keith?
Yeah. Hopefully the engineer knows I could not hear you and Craig. I've been.
I hear you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't hear you and Craig. So now you can hear it in my voice. I called in to say during the first half hour, you were talking about the death of outrage. In any perfect country, going to the assistance of a complete stranger is what mankind should, at its very best, should be all about. The proverbial good Samaritan. I've been saying to people for years.
Yeah, let him know he couldn't hear because we have a problem with our main transmitter.
You would want me, a complete stranger, to go to your relatives' aid and assistance. That apparently is lost in modern America. I also want to say the very fact that Mr. Curtis Sliwa is not a national hero speaks very badly of modern day America. There's no one better. I've never met him. I'm sure you, Mr. Sharpe, know more about the Curtis Sliwa, but everything I've always heard about him, he's very, very good. And I also want to say, to the detriment of the left in our country, after 2 assassination attempts on the former president, Mr. Trump, certainly on the first one where he was hit in the ear, grazed, and then jumped up and was fist pumping, saying, fight, fight, fight. The left makes no notice of that and continue to put Trump down. In a better world, our opponents would be saying of this guy that they really hate Trump, how brave it is that he could come back like that. But the left, the Dems, all of them, they look upon that as bad form on the part of Trump. And so in closing, we had better become, all of us, like Mr. Curtis Sliwa, or we're going to lose this country, because the bad guys are here. Even if Trump hopefully gets into office in 4 weeks, it's going to take a long time to get rid of the bad guys that Biden and Harris have allowed into the country. A long time to get rid of the criminals off our soil.
Well, thank you for that, Keith. I appreciate it. Let me see if I can grab a couple of those things. You always give me a lot. Let me first touch the Sliwa piece. Yes, I know Sliwa. I consider him an acquaintance. We're not like buddies, but we know each other. I've seen him many times. And I do agree with you. I think he's a good guy. I think he's trying to do what he thinks is best for the city. I think that's true. So yes, agreed. And very proud of him and his son. Well done. The idea of getting rid of the bad guys, there's an important piece here. The bad guys thrive when we don't do anything. So while if we're going to physically get rid of them, Keith, you are correct. It will take a long time. But if we simply make it uncomfortable for them to exist in our areas, they'll leave. Right? Here's the thing I learned a long time ago. The bad guys don't want you. They want an easy mark. If you make yourself an easy mark, it will be you. If you don't make yourself an easy mark, the odds are it won't be you. It still might be you, but the odds are it won't be. Less and less easy marks means it's not as easy for the criminals to survive and thrive. They will leave. I'm not joking. That's how it works. They go, I can't grift here. I can't steal here. I can't rob here. I'll go someplace else. They literally travel city to city. You see that with the drug trade, right? They move from city to city as it gets easier to sell, easier to do their work. You see it everywhere. So, Keith, you are correct. If we're going to physically get rid of them, it's decades. You're right. But if we just make it to where they can't function well, they'll just literally go someplace else. And that may sound like I'm being naive. No, it's true. It is demonstrably true. If it's not easy to do the illegal things and it's easy to do it someplace else, they will literally pack up and go someplace else. You see them do it all the time. And the drug trade is a perfect example of that. Black market, trading in the black market, people and items. You see that also. The easier it is, That's where they go. At the bottom, at the end of the day, it's a business. It sounds terrible, but it is. These guys pay their bills on this. So they go to the easiest market. So yes, Keith, but we can fix it, right? Yes, but we can fix it. That's the piece I want to bring up to make sure that part is clear. Yes. All righty. I want to grab a couple more comments. I have so many of them. Kim says, if you have a guard dog in your house for protection and someone breaks in while you're not home and your guard dog attacks and maims the burglar in your home, the owner can be held accountable. Yes. How crazy is that? But Larry, the dog bit somebody. Why were you in my house? Yeah. Rocket Man says, Jose Alba. Thank you. I was right. Thank you for that. I thought that was his name. I wasn't sure. Yes. He is, that was his name. Jose Alba was the guy who was attacked in the bodega he was working in. Frank says, I too am legally blind. I am also a former elected official of a corrections union. Yep, I know the union. After showing up for jury duty, the defense attorneys can't wait to disqualify me. Yes. I wonder why I get disqualified within minutes of being in the courtroom. I will tell you why. Defense attorneys do not want law enforcement at all on those juries. I understand completely. They don't. Most who don't know, law enforcement isn't just cops. Parole officers, corrections officers, these are all law enforcement. Sheriff's Department, all law enforcement. And defense attorneys want nothing to do with you. You're correct. All righty, am I right? Have you been in a jury? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Sharpe Way Radio. WYSL Rochester, New York. Larry Sharpe here. Covering your calls and your chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
I'm Greece Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Joe Robach. If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop here for your hunting needs. With changes in New York State laws, they'll work with you to fulfill your needs. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday, Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Hey, this is Stryker that calls into WYSL's PCP Boys. I'd love to have you come listen to my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic. If you like the content of WYSL, I think you'll like my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic, on Podbean, Spotify, and Amazon podcast apps.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio, WYSL Rochester, New York. So happy you're giving me a chunk of your afternoon. Yes, we're talking about New York City, but we're also talking about the country. We're talking about people not wanting to take responsibility or being afraid of taking responsibility for the defense of themselves, their community, their property, and a system that wants you to not do it. That piece drives me crazy. John brings up a very important point, and he's right on the money here. He says, only a select group of New Yorkers can defend themselves.
Roger.
Working poor and middle-class folks can't. And Hochul, who is our governor, has all the security she can desire. That's true. Defense is for the elites, not for the regular people. It's just not this. It's not how this state works. It's not how any of this works. The elites get what they want, and the rest of us get nothing. It's a terrible idea. Faithful friend says, bring back Curtis Lee was Garden Angels. I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you at that point. I appreciate it. Let me grab a call if I could. It's Roger. How are you, my friend?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
All right, so let me say this real quick. My guess is the reason why Jordan Neely was flopping all over the place and had to be held down and would not stop was because he was being choked out. You tend to do that when you're gasping for air. However, I'm glad you clarified that you said the system killed Jordan, not Penny. Let me go further. One, why was Jordan homeless? That's what you have to ask.
Yes,
100%. And I could tell you why. Because we've allowed private equity firms like BlackRock and Vanguard Group that owns everything in the world to get into the housing market. Then you have the real estate brokers of New York, the biggest lobbying group in the state that makes sure that rent rates stay high.
Yep.
Number two, our social safety net is made out of dental floss instead of out of hemp with the circular circumference of 4 inches. 3, was Daniel Penny being treated for PTSD? If so, what is the quality of his service? I know TRICARE is superior to Veterans Care. Not only I ask, why do they not continue that level of care when they get out, but why is that care not extended to the rest of the population? You see, Larry, everybody wants to be reactionary, talking about what they would do in that situation, but no one is talking prevention. You got a bunch of, for instance, you have a bunch of rats. I'm not talking about the politicians, like literal rats in New York City. You have a rat czar. That guy is going to continuously have a lucrative business as long as restaurants and other establishments that serve food are not required to put their garbage in a garbage can. You got roaches in your house. You're consistently spending money on exterminators. Meanwhile, you leave dirty dishes in the sink for days and never take out the garbage. And you got a bunch of newspapers piling up in the basements that are damp. Stop treating symptoms and get to the root of the problem that's causing it. Lastly, you talk about serving.
You're right.
Lastly, you talk about serving on juries, and more people should do it. Larry, you know money makes the world go round, and New York 100%. State only pays $40 a day. I got summons to fill out for jury duty to serve for a federal case by the United States Eastern District Court. I haven't got a summons since like 1992. Okay, so I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta work, and they ain't gonna pay me. Look,
I'm with you. You gave me a lot. Okay, let me try to touch a couple of these. The last one I'll bring up right away, which is, you are right. We don't take our jurors seriously at all. If it was up to me, we'd pay them an actual living wage. I agree completely. I want the best people, the savviest people, the people who care on juries. I agree. I'm lucky, right? I agree. I'm fortunate. I'm a consultant. I can take 2 weeks off, 3 weeks off and do it. I can do it. Not going to kill me, right? I can do it. But you're right. A lot of people can't. They can't pay their bills. You're correct, which is why I say try if you can. I'm not asking somebody to not pay their bills to go on a jury. That's not what I'm asking. But there are a lot of people who, if they got $40 a day for 3 weeks, they'd be fine. They just don't want to be on jury duty. If you're one of those people who $40 a day, you'll be okay. Now, for some of you, that would be good money. Some of you, that would not be good money. But if it's good enough for you for 3 weeks, please go on jury duty. That's what I'm saying. So I think you're correct on that. We should be better that way. We should make it easy to be a juror. Absolutely. The second piece, the system's completely broken. I agree completely, which is why I say it's the system that killed him. He should have never been there. He didn't get the help. And Perry also had PTSD. I'm sorry, Penny also had PTSD. Probably still does. You are correct, my friend. Everything I'm saying, I agree with you. No question. Thank you for the call. So, look, I know some people will jump on and get mad at Penny for what he did. I'm not. I'm mad at the system. And I'm even madder that people are taking a stance and saying, well, it's Penny's fault. Or the reverse, well, it's Neely's fault. Right? I hear people say that too. Oh, well, he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have done that. No. Roger is 100% correct. Neely should have been helped. That should have never happened. We have to get through the problem. And Sean literally says it. He says, yes, get to the root of the problem, not the symptom. That's the problem. We're not doing that, Sean. You are correct. I've been talking about this forever. We have to fix this. It drives me crazy. Dallas says, I visited New York City for the first time last December. I kind of regret not visiting 10 years ago because everyone told me it was way better back then. I think it was. I think that's true. I think it was. New York now is in a bad spot. New York State in general. New York City is worse. It's in a bad spot right now. Don't get me wrong. I love my city. Well, some days. But I do. There's a lot of great things here. Every kind of culture you can imagine is here. Everything you might want to do is here. Visiting here is great. It's not as great as it was. That's what I'll say. I live here. You shouldn't live here. I'm just saying. You shouldn't live here. Because what Roger said is a rat czar, that's a real thing. There's 3 million rats in this city. There's more rats in this city than there are most cities in America, meaning humans in most cities in America. That's how many rats there are here. So you shouldn't live here. But visiting is still good. Just maybe bring mace or something. I don't know. But you probably can't because that's against the law in New York also. Because people are saying, well, what about bringing like mace or something? Also illegal in New York City. So you cannot defend yourself in New York City. You can't. There is no way that you can defend yourself in this city. New York City says no. If something happens to you, call a cop. Okay, they're beating you up. When they're done beating you up, call a cop. They're robbing me. When they're done robbing you, call a cop. That's what they're saying. And if a cop's not there, what are you gonna do? That's just how it is. So yes. Leela says, I'm disqualified because of my hearing problems. I should also mention I want to hear teehee, but I keep it vague. Oh, so that's why they won't put you on a jury. Huh. I didn't know that was an issue. Yeah, I did not know that was an issue. But I guess maybe it is. I assume that they would have some accommodation for that. Maybe New York State isn't as accommodating as I thought they were. Who knows? Guys, thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I'll be on later on tonight and tomorrow. I will see you all very soon.